Welcome to the Chop Team. I'm your host, Seth the Darkchild.
I'm your host, Twins Inc.
Our show is about two guys and any friends that happen to come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our Barbershop style podcast. We discuss it all. If the fellas at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up. What's going on, people? How's everyone doing this Sunday, this Super Bowl Sunday?
Super Bowl Sunday. You know, I ain't paid no attention to the NFL this year. I'm still mad about Kaepernick for some odd reason.
Listen, I've been in and out about it as well. And the only reason why I have any care about it is because I have Antonio Brown. Mm-hmm. What's going on, people? How's everyone doing this Sunday? And Le'Veon Bell currently playing as well. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. No, and you know, I'm a Falcons fan. I don't care. I know for a full fact that the Falcons are trash this year. Hopefully it'll be better next year, but I know the Falcons are trash. But when you come out this gate losing the way we lost in the beginning of the season,
right?
Yeah, the NFL just lost all my fan money this year. Can't do it.
Nah, I feel you. But also to even add to that as well is this. The reason why, you know, I'm still being involved and care exactly what's going on.
Where's the camera? Is this the camera?
The camera right there.
Just want to make sure.
Is that because the way that Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell both left the Steelers, they receive a lot of heat, saying that they're this, they're that, X, Y, Z. And I'm not saying neither one of them is the reason why they're going to the Super Bowl, but it's just irony that both of them are going to the Super Bowl on separate teams. So at the end of the day, they're winning. Someone's going to win. But anyway, that's a little something we just talking about, you know, to give people time to get in the room, and they're not here yet, but we'll keep it rolling. Mm-hmm. So, the topic that we all see. Ladies, is it feminine to jump into arguments when two men is talking? And let me clear it off first before we get into it. Mm-hmm. When I say talking, I'm not talking about this regular conversation. I'm talking about when two men are having a disagreement. Mm-hmm. Okay? Disagreement, not just, you know, and most of the time we'll ask for your opinion, but this is when the talking has escalated, right? Maybe yelling, cussing, swearing at each other. No, this is beyond talking, but this is still two men having interaction, right? Mm-hmm. And I find it very rich and dishonest that I ask a lot of these ladies here, you know, this question, is it feminine for you to jump in an argument with two grown men? And it's not. Now, there's a lot of women who say, absolutely, you're correct. But there's some women who feel like, well, it depends this, it depends that. If they're trying to diffuse it, no. See, stop trying to make excuses, okay? I mean, this kind of falls in, we have conversation about men and women not being equal, okay? And this is a case study that happened in two situations happened last week. Mm-hmm. Two different people across the world, random people, but I'm going to give you two scenarios that actually happened, which kind of still supports my actions and my topics, the way I feel and the way I speak regarding men and women not really being equal and the logical thinking that we do. So first, you've probably seen the icon when we first got in, or the thumbnail, which was LeBron James that had an argument. This all happened last week. Yep. So I think it was actually last Monday. The Los Angeles Lakers went to Atlanta. They was here in the ATL plane.
Go Hawks. Wait, did we lose?
I mean,
okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, well, we ain't gonna talk about that. But anyway,
it's hard to be an Atlanta fan of any sports. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So they was here and they was playing whatever ball game playing. But there was a situation where LeBron was having an argument with another man in his fans in the bleachers, whatever you want to call it, in the sideline, have an argument with, and somehow. The two men were having a conversation. The guy said what he had to say. LeBron said what he said. Whatever. This argument. You know, men talk crap to each other. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. For some reason, this lady, his girlfriend or wife at that time, felt that she had the need to jump in and back up her husband or man at that time and have an argument between two grown men. Mm-hmm. Now, the situation did escalate to where they both got kicked out the rest of the game.
Wait, didn't she get banned from all? She can't go to another game in Atlanta.
She might. I don't know. I mean,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you could be right though. But the point is that LeBron was already having an argument with another man, and no one got kicked out. No one got, the game didn't stop. But what happened was the woman, just go back to accountability. Women don't have accountability, and they can say what they want, how they feel, with no actions behind it, right? So long story short, she get kicked out the game, right? But that's the number one example I just want to get to you about women. Now, it's not that stay in your place, but how's that feminine for a woman to jump in a confrontation between two men? What are your thoughts on that before I continue on that? Seth, the dark child.
All right. All right. Here's my thoughts. I'm going to use a term I've heard on the internet recently called masculine energy.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that when she saw two men having words, her masculine energy got triggered and she had to insert herself into it. So it's the moment she inserted herself, no, she wasn't feminine. You were in your masculine energy. Of course you're not feminine. So that's my first thought on that subject. The second thought, and I don't know if a lot of guys will look at it, but think about the fact that your man, who is supposed to be your man, is in some kind of verbal confrontation, altercation, and you think he's so weak that he needs you to back him up in a situation like that. Think about that. I mean, dude, she judged you as weak before she jumped in. No, she ain't her feminine.
Facts. And then on top of that, she's getting more media attention than LeBron and the guy who's having the argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about her, what she said. We calling her Courtside Courtney. No, Courtside Karen. But she's getting more attention than the men were because it was between the men. It had nothing to do with her.
And it's also, once again, this is American media. This is why I pretty much gave up on TV and news and junk. Is that American media is so focused on empowering women that's why she is the center of the story. Women want attention, and the news media in America gives it to them. For good or bad, you are now a star.
Facts.
Why? And women are so out for attention in so many situations. Why wouldn't you jump into your feminine energy in a situation like that? Because if you do it, you are going to get publicity. You're going to get notoriety. You're going to get your 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, she got it all right.
And almost all people, women specifically, are chasing that 15 minutes. I mean, for her, this a win. She's probably not even embarrassed about it.
No, she better not. But I could almost kind of guarantee that there was some conversation between the man and woman once they got home. Because, you know what I'm saying? Well, it may not, but I assume for me it would have been.
And that's the point difference.
Yeah.
Because it would have been when you got home, you had a conversation with her about it. And if you had that conversation with her about it, would she have, if she already knew you were the masculine part of the relationship, would she have even opened her mouth in that situation? See, she wasn't in her feminine. You can't just turn it on and off.
Facts.
You weren't in your feminine when you met the dude, when you left the house. It didn't get triggered. You was already in it.
Facts. And let me say, quote unquote, this is what she said out of her mouth. Okay, this is not a speculation between Seth the Dark Child and Twin Zinc. But she said on her Instagram, so on her page, she admitted that she yelled at James and said that she was going to F him up. She was going to F a grown man up who's a professional athlete, and he works out. LeBron ain't a little small dude, okay? Let's be clear. He's not. He's about 6'8", 200 and some pounds of muscle. But she said she's going to F him up after he exchanged with her husband. After LeBron and the guys had exchanged, she said that to him. So once again, where's that femininity at, feminine traits at when you tell another grown man that you're going to F him up when he's having a disagreement with your man? Not you. He ain't saying nothing to you. He was talking to your man. Because LeBron and this dude have a on and off beef. Not no serious beef, but they have on and on trash talk all year ever since been in the NBA. It's well known. It's documented. But never she was in the picture.
Oh, my God. Bro, there's so much to unpack there. Okay.
Unpack.
Okay. I mean, if I forget something, because it's so much. So LeBron and this guy have already had a history of going back and forth.
Yes.
So her jealousy of not being included put her in a position to open her mouth and insert herself into that conversation. She wanted to be inserted into it. She chose that to do it. Her masculine energy forced her into it. The second part of that, another part, I'm saying second, whatever.
You fine.
The point that she threatened to physically assault him. See, from two men, technically speaking, even from a legal standpoint, a physical threat of assault, that's a terroristic threat.
Facts.
You made a threat. You legally threatened this dude on camera to cause him bodily harm. Why would you feel comfortable to threaten to physically assault somebody? Well, because you're a woman in America, and America keeps giving women these passes to be in their masculine. There's no punishment. Accountability for being in your masculine. So she had no reason not to, right? But the point being is her femininity should have stopped her, but there was a chance for attention. You know what I'm saying? Once again, every time I get a few more details, it just keeps piling on and piling on. Lack of accountability has put women in a position where they don't have to be in their feminine to still get the benefits of American society or Western society. And when you take the rules off of not a certain set of people, when you tell people there are no consequences for your actions, do you think people end up in heaven or hell? Just a question. If there are no accountability for your actions, do you think most people are going to go to heaven, or you think they're going to go to hell?
I mean, if there's a heaven, there's a hell. I would assume hell for 500.
That's my thought. You know what I'm saying?
Now, in their head, they're probably thinking heaven.
Well, if you told me that if I could walk into a bank and I could either act like I got sense, or I could rob the bank and walk out with $1 million, there'll be no consequences either way. What would most people do? If you tell me that somebody getting on my nerves, I could either be the bigger person and walk away, or I could take a baseball bat and bust them in the back of the head. There'll be no consequences either way. What would most people do? See, without accountability, you get women who don't even know what the feminine is. She didn't even come to the stadium in her feminine. She brought her penis with her in the door. That's all. That's everything you said. Is it feminine to jump? Ladies, y'all need to redefine femininity.
Facts.
But as long as there are no concrete consequences for your actions, why would they be feminine? They can act as bad as they want to act, and nobody. Oh, the third part I wanted to talk about. Once again, no consequences for your actions.
Right.
In no world outside of this one we're currently in no society outside of the one we're currently in, would a 125-pound person threaten a 300-pound, 7-foot tall person with the full understanding that ain't nothing gonna happen. You know,
facts.
I mean, I'm a big boy. You can see it on the camera right there. I ain't really walking around afraid of dudes. I mean, it is what it is. I'm a big guy, but you think I'm gonna jump up at Shaq, The Rock, LeBron? Do you see this dude? I have to reevaluate the consequences of me opening my mouth and threatening to whoop The Rock's butt. It's probably not going to end in my favor.
Because we have more accountability.
And because there are because we know as men, there are consequences to our actions, that's part of the second conversation you want to bring up.
Yep, about to head into it. I'll make sure you finish your point there.
I left something on the table, but go ahead.
It'll come back to it.
Okay.
All right, so once again, that's one case study. Another case study. This happened last week. Same week. Can't remember exactly what day it was, but this situation happened in Pennsylvania, not Pittsburgh, but in Pennsylvania. And there was a couple, a man and a woman, and a guy, neighbors. And, of course, everybody know who's, living right now up north. They're getting a lot of snow. It is what it is. They're getting a lot of snow. And if you live in Pennsylvania, you get snow every year. So, okay. So the story is this. A neighbor was shoveling his yard. And this kind of confusing me because the neighbor was shoveling his yard and clearing his driveway out. And apparently he's putting snow in his neighbor's yard, which is across the street. So that right there, I have a question.
Wait. How you get snow out of your yard to a neighbor across the street?
Across the street.
Were you actually throwing it?
I mean, you see the video. I mean, he had to pick up the snow, walk out the street, then dump it in the yard. But you know what?
Okay, so he was a jerk.
I mean, but that's how I worked there with a lot of snow. But that's the argument. The argument was that he would, when you clean his yard or shovel, he would have snow in his neighbor yard. Not his next door neighbor, not his left and right, but across the street. Just painting the scenario for y'all real quick so you understand what's going on. Some of you might have heard about this. Okay. So anyway, the husband and wife outside shoveling the yard, cleaning it out, and the other guys outside too, and they get in a verbal confrontation, right? They arguing with each other, going back and forth, whatever. Now, of course, it's them two men, they're going at it, which normally men do, have disagreement. Now, I want to say this, God, they read the story a little bit more. It seems like the couple, the man and the woman who were married, were barking a lot, meaning they were saying a lot of stuff which they really couldn't cash out, right? Like, there was, I'm going to read exactly what they said. Okay. They told the guy across the street, I'll knock your A out, and I'll make sure your life is a living hell. Well, the other guy across the street, a 47-year-old, he went in his house. Now, I grew up in the hood. I got in a lot of fights, a lot of disagreements. I wasn't a brawler. I'm not saying I was a bully, but I played basketball a lot. Most of the time I get in fights, it's probably during basketball. But if you playing basketball in the hood and you getting back and forth with a dude, and a guy tells you, stay right here, I'll be right back. That is your one and only warning to get up out of there, because he's going to his trunk, and he's not going to get some Gatorade. He's not. He's not going to get some socks and put on his jeans. No. He's going to get a weapon. That's what he say. When he say, stay right here, I'll be right back, everybody got to go, because when he pop the trunk, he going to spray the whole court, so it's time to go. But in that scenario, the fellas who I played with knew what he was doing. They all ran to him, hey, man, chill out, calm down. Bro. But back to the story.
Okay, but I just want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not to add, I just want to give props out to the dude that stood there. That was hard. That was stupid, but that was hard, because everybody know what goddamn.
Right.
Like, yo, dude, you should have socked him or something on the way to the car and started the fight.
You never let them watch their car.
I mean, how many times you been at the nightclub and they tell them, yo, wait right here, and they go to the car.
Right, I'll be right back.
Nah. Dude, no. How many nightclubs have you heard shot up with that exact sentence, precipitating everything that follows? Okay, keep going.
I'll be right back, right? Nah.
We all seen the Terminator. I'll be right back. Right there.
He came right back, all right? Shut everybody up. All right, so back to the story. So the 47-year-old goes in this house, and guess what? He comes out with his gun, right?
Who didn't see that coming?
So he had his gun, and he's pointing at the husband and wife. Okay? All right? He pointed at them. And, quote, unquote, they continue to verbal abuse, seemingly challenge him to shoot. So the husband and wife who don't have a gun, but the guy who has a gun, they tell him, go ahead and shoot. Lisa, which is the wife, even yells at him and says, go ahead.
I bet she did a hand like this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, because she's also a Karen, so it wouldn't be.
She was a white lady?
Yeah, it was a Karen.
Man, it wasn't a sister.
No,
she still did like this. I don't care.
I mean,
her hand did that right there.
Listen,
I hate that.
It doesn't matter. She egged them on, right? So also, I'm gonna keep reading the story here.
Okay.
So
wait, 1 second. So these weren't black people.
No, these weren't black people.
So it wasn't a ninja moment.
No, it wasn't a ninja moment. That's what makes me embarrassed, because when people have arguments, they always want to bring up, well, we black people. Okay, here's a scenario that's not recording. Well, the first one was LeBron and James, but still.
I am so happy about that. Keep going. Oh my God.
Okay.
It wasn't a brother.
So the guy with the gun, he opened fires, and he doesn't hit. I don't know. He's a little rusty, or maybe he was getting some warning shots. He was giving him. I don't know. He missed. You listen to the video, go pop, 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 and he didn't hit nothing. But he does strike the husband, and the husband runs and falls to the ground and yells, "Call the police!" Right after after the husband, because the wife. Listen, the guy gun right here, the woman and guy right next to each other. He shoots and hits the husband. The husband flees. He runs off in pain, of course, because he got shot, and then because he falls by the car because he didn't get away into the house. The woman who was right there, he shot her and shot her. And shot her again. Then walk up on her again, point blank range, shot her again. Then he went over to the husband and after shot him 2 more times, right?
Because he's been watching John Wick.
Right.
Pop, you got to double.
Right. Okay. So with me. So so the woman shot on the ground bleeding. The guy shot bleeding. I think it's still alive. He's still moving, but it eventually died. But what I'm getting as this: So after he shot the husband, he wobbles his butt back into the house. Goes in the house, contemplate a little bit, comes back outside with another gun.
A different gun.
Yeah, another gun. And when he comes up with a gun, this is what he do. Mm-hmm. He walks over to the wife. Y'all paying attention here? The woman.
Isn't she already dead?
Not yet. She's still in pain. She's still she's still moving around. Wow. But he walks over to the wife, the woman, and says to her, "You should have kept your mouth shut." Dang. And then he shoots her again. Wow. She's gone. Wow. So the moral of the story is what I'm getting at is this. When men is having a disagreement in an argument, you should not try to jump in between that argument. You should not be trying to egg on the other person what's going on. You should not be trying to tell. You should never tell a man he's this, he that. Go ahead, I dare you, I challenge you. Not knowing that nobody on this earth is Superman or Superwoman. If you shoot me, the bullet's going in and it's going to hurt, and I may die, which they did. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you watch the whole video and the person, the guy he was actually arguing with, he received the less bullets. But the woman he was talking, she received the most bullets.
He got mommy issues.
So with that being said, the man was triggered. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, here's my logic in this situation, right? And I had to my wife. I said, listen, babe, if me and the man is outside having an argument, right? Mm-hmm. First off, you should not try to jump in or intervene at all. Let us handle this out. You should get in the house. You have a gun. So you're my last line of defense. Mm-hmm. Meaning this. If I go outside and me and dude's getting on, dude go and get his gun and shoots me, right? Mm-hmm. Guess what? You had enough time to go in the house, secure the house. Even if he's in front of the door, watching from the door, you can get your gun. So if he does try to come and get you, you have a gun and you have a better chance of defending yourself.
You could even did what we expect Karens to do. Hello,
911. Oh, you know what?
Why you just...
Neither one did that.
I bet you if it was somebody of our complexion...
Oh, yeah. It went that far. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It all goes back to the title, because apparently the man was very upset at the woman because he made it very clear, you should have shut your mouth.
But she might have been talking for years.
There's this other stuff going on, though, but we ain't gonna do a whole case study of the year. We're going to talk about the situation that happened. Okay. And what happened was he made his point to make sure to shoot her and tell her you should have shut your mouth. Okay. Because in the day, when grown men going at it, that's what it is. So in both of these scenarios, I need to understand, ladies, mm-hmm. where is the feminine traits in these both scenarios? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is it? Where should a woman come in and try to jump in and overtalk her husband as he's talking to another man? First, you're going to make your man look weak. That's number one.
No, she already thinks you're weak. That's why she thinks you need her backup.
You're right.
Keep going, I'm sorry.
You're right, though. You're right, though. I mean, start there.
Yeah.
The fact that you think you have to speak for your husband lets you know that he's weak. Mm-hmm. But that's going to also cause problem too, and later on in life. Mm-hmm. Outside, let's say no one got shot and killed. There's going to be conversation at home talking about, you don't got to say nothing, I can talk for myself. Well, you a punk.
That's it. That right there is going to happen.
That's going to happen.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No,
this is where all this stemming from. Mm-hmm. So I pose this question to you ladies. Where is the feminine traits behind this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't really have 2 cents to add without always going in, but it's the exact same thing that I've said earlier with the LeBron situation. First off, the guy who you were talking to, your neighbor, if I don't like my neighbor, that's fine. Me and my neighbor are 2 men having territorial disputes.
Facts.
If you are afraid, if you are afraid of him and I'm not there to deal with it, that is what 911 is for. But I got this. I don't need you. And men handle their business differently than women.
Facts.
A dispute with a guy, we might be able to resolve that dispute with the 12-pack of beer one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and the man will do this. Women don't understand this. A man will come to another man and be like, yo, let's bury this hatchet. You know what? Me and you got grief and I can't keep living like this.
Facts.
Let's talk about this, bro. And oddly enough, some of your best friends are people who used to be your enemies. But this is only for men. See, women don't get that. Women, in my opinion, they don't know when to draw the line in the sand. And so, if you'll notice, a lot of women have quote unquote friend groups that rotate for years. A guy could be a friend with another guy for a whole lifetime. But women, 10 years tops, you'll be looking for another bestie. 10 years at the most. And that's because y'all don't do things righteously, in my opinion. I'm going to use that word because I don't have any facts to back it up. But just from my own personal experience, I've seen a lot of women do things that, as a man, we found to be foul.
Facts.
That we still accept. My mother, love her to death, but my mama wasn't an angel at all. Okay? My aunt, my grandmother, I thought my grandmother was a saint until my grandfather passed. Afterwards, when I finally saw her I didn't even speak to my grandmother the last 10 years of her life. I didn't have nothing to say to the woman. She was a monster.
Oh, wow.
And after speaking to my own mom and getting some real stories that you don't get as a kid,
right?
She was a monster growing up. My grandfather is the one that kept her, I would say, in check.
Okay.
Absent my grandfather, there was nothing keeping that spiteful attitude in her heart under control, and it raged out of control. It literally destroyed my family. My entire family doesn't really exist. We related, but we ain't really family. And that's because my grandmother's spite had a long time to permeate. The reason I'm saying all this is this just for the neighbor. If you don't have your wife under control, seriously, and I don't care that nobody can handle me, why should you need to be handled? Act like you got some blank sense. But if you aren't under control, that's why you're supposed to be under the leadership of a man. Because women's emotions rage out of control. Y'all know y'all can't control it. Y'all know y'all can't pull it back. And if that man is not weak enough to keep you in check, this is what happens. The fact that she felt like she needed to jump up and defend him in the first place, you were too weak for that woman. Should have never been with her. You might love her to death, but you can't control her. You can't keep her in check. And women's mouths, in my opinion, they often write checks they can't cash.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And that's it. I mean, that's just part of whatever we're talking about. She thought he was weak, and her masculine energy exploded out of control because she's never had to actually try to control it. And once she started talking to another dude, I'm going to throw this on the table. Facts, not in evidence. He might have been a child of a single parent also. His emotions, he got to the point in the argument where he felt he needed to make a move. He didn't care about the consequences at the time. Boom, he dealt with it in the most extreme way possible.
And you talk about the guy who shot the people up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And
listen, and also to add to that, too, the guy who shot everybody, he wasn't, before they tried to make it sound like, he was this and that. This guy was a Navy veteran. Mm-hmm. Also, he has a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering and a master's in water resource and environment engineering as well. So the guy was very educated, but also he was in the Navy. Now, I don't know if he served or not, whatever, but the point I'm trying to make is that he had some military background experience. And I say that to say this, women. Mm-hmm. Before you pop up the mouth saying, you little punk, you gonna do this, go ahead, shoot. I dare you. You don't know what these men are going through or what they have done and what experience they have. Mm-hmm. So when you see the video when the dude goes up and shoots him and he shoots to kill, that was his military background experience kicking in, especially if he serves. Meaning that he actually went to war and he had to shoot some people. You don't know what kind of trauma you got. So when you say certain people, they may go from 0 to 100 real quick. Mm-hmm. But I think the trigger part for him is when the lady was kept egging him on and calling this name and that thing when two men were having a conversation. Mm-hmm. Tell the people the story you told me about your son and you was telling about the punch dummy.
Okay.
Because this all comes down to accountability and it still comes down to raising men how to deal with the emotions. Because apparently, I don't know what emotional state he was in, but he was definitely very emotional because at the end of the day, after he killed the two people and he got in his house, he ended up killing himself. Mm-hmm. So that means after his adrenaline slowed down and he sat there and thought, like, you know what?
And his logical mind reasserted itself.
He was like, you know what? I can't believe I did that over some snow.
And that's why I think he was raised by a single parent, because because fathers have to deal with their if a father. This is my theory once again. When a father's in the house, a lot of women are mad because a lot of men that you've seen on TV, we interact better with the kids than the mothers.
Oh, that's facts.
Okay, but why? Never actually said why.
I don't know why, but I seen the videos where, matter of fact, there's a video on TikTok where the new parents, they have a baby. The dad goes to the glass door and go outside. The baby climbs the door, the window glass, and bangs on and crying, daddy, 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 whatever. He ain't crying, but daddy, babies. So the mom, they flip it. The mom does the same thing, walks the door, the baby crawls, and then turns left. But it's the same thing when you say dada, say mama, and the kids say dada, and the mom gets upset, like, I carried you for 8 months. Can't believe you. But go ahead, what you were saying, man.
Well, I mean,
but that's true though. Like the kids do.
I've heard it personally in my own house. Is that my ex-wife hated some of the interactions I have with my sons, but that's because I accept them for who they are. I'm not trying to change them. I am trying to change them into somebody I want to be around. See, that's a difference for some of these things. I like who I am. I know who I am. I'm confident in who I am. And so I want my children to like who they are, to like the people they're around, and to be confident in who they are. A lot of women walk around with a lot of insecurities and anxieties and stuff like that. And that translates through to your children.
Facts.
And so your children becomes less self-confident, have lower self-esteem, because they don't feel strong in who they are. I think personally fathers make their children a good father, a strong father, not just any random, let's be honest,
right,
can inspire the kid to be confident in who they are, to know that a fight is not life-changing.
Title.
Lord knows, I was the last generation. I didn't have a father in the house, but I grew up in the projects with uncles, and it was men in the neighborhood. I had a lot of boys that we played, and we fought. Oh my God, did we fight. Some brutal fights. But after the fight, there's a kickball game. Got to go play. If me and you got into a fight, we can't play on the same team today. But
right.
We can play the game.
Right.
And so, and once again, I didn't have a dad there. My dad, for reasons that we're not going into on this podcast, was gone. But I had an uncle who lived literally next door. So if you want to count the number of times I got snatched clean off the ground by the front of my shirt, I have parental male discipline available very easy.
Gotcha.
So you just learn how to modify yourself. You learn how to act, and you learn how to respond. A punch in the face does not require a gun to respond. Now, I said all that to say this. So I'm married. I got 2 sons. A few years ago, many years ago, I bought a
punch dummy.
A punching dummy, right?
Right.
It's a torso with a head.
Yeah.
And it's orange. And it's on. When I say it a couple years ago, my children renamed him Donald because it's orange, and so now it's Donald. So that when I respond to Donald, that's him. So anyway, I'm having my son practice punching, right? Like 100 punches on each arm, 100 uppercuts. Work the side, work the kidney. Teach him how to defend himself with his hands. And so I leave him in there to burn off some energy. I go in the living room and I sit down on the couch. He walks out, and I hear him going at it, and I hear the intensity going up. I feel good about it though. I'm like, yeah, work that out. He's gonna sleep well tonight. This little joker walks in front of me. I figure he's done. I'm proud of him. He put in good work. He comes back with a baseball bat and walks back in front of me. I'm like, whoa. Where are you going with that bat? He's like, I'm about to beat Donald's butt. And I'm like, who told you to get a bat? Now, this is where it comes in.
Listen.
Mama said,
gems.
if you in a fight with somebody, you need to pick up a stick or something and bust him upside the head. Wait, what? Why would your mom? So all the work I'm trying to do to teach you to discipline yourself, when you defend yourself, your mama talking about escalating the situation. Go get a bigger weapon and come back and beat them down with it, because if you can't beat them with your fist, stop. I'm like, so I called his mom into the room. I'm like, why did you tell him that? You know, because as a man growing up, if it's a one-on-one fight, you fight.
You fight.
If you lose, you take that L. If you win, you take the W. But you don't go get a weapon after a one-on-one fight. You know, you fight. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Most people know when the fight is over, and you walk away from it.
Facts. You
done told him to go get a weapon and hurt somebody worse. Like there are no consequences to hitting someone with a bat. There's no consequences to hitting someone with a frying pan. There's no consequences to throwing a vase at somebody's head. There are no consequences to pulling a gun on somebody. There are freaking consequences to these actions. You need to learn to moderate your actions. But if women don't, and I say women because the majority of y'all lack self-accountability, and there are not enough consequences for your actions in your everyday life, which lets y'all wild out of control. And y'all feeding it to these people who are growing up to be adults who lack accountability. And that's why I feel like he pulled the trigger.
Listen, and to even add to that, when you fight hand to hand, yes, because for some reason, some people in these arguments would like to go to the extreme. Yes, hand-to-hand combat can lead to death, right? Yes. It can happen, right? It can happen.
No doubt.
But once you bring in a bat, bring in a rock, bring in a knife, and a gun, those percentages of death, somebody getting hurt, is 10 times higher. Think about this, people. We all know this movie. It's a great movie. I grew up watching it. We used to do the skits during football practice and even in camp. Friday. Did y'all remember the scene when Craig was going to fight Debo? R.I.P. Debo. Both of them. But do you remember that? And first, Craig, Ice Cube, he had a gun. His dad talked him out of it. So he put the gun up, hand-to-hand combat. Debo had a knife. He's like, boy, I don't need a knife. Hold my knife. Smokey, or whoever it was. No, it was a dude. Smokey, taking this shit. That guy. I can't remember his name.
Elijah?
I don't know his name.
I know
but he gave that dude the knife. So, okay, we're going to do is man-to-man, hand-to-hand combat. Okay? So they get a fight, boom, 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 hand-to-hand combat. Debo is much bigger, but Q tried to do his thing. He gets knocked out, put to sleep, boom, boom, boom.
He had to live with that L.
He lost. It's an L, right? Debo beating his chest. Who wants some of Debo? You want some too, Grandpa? No. That's a good movie. But what I'm getting at is this. The one thing that happened at the end was when Debo was distracted, beating his chest, Q picked up a brick, threw it at him, and knocked him out. Now, he knocked him out. And if you think about it, he got praise and worship for that. Yay, Craig's a hero, knocked Debo out. Which was cool, right? But when you peel back the layers behind it, you start thinking about it, it's like, what happened if he'd have killed him? Cause think about it. Debo beat him up, put him to sleep. He didn't kill him, he just put him to sleep. He choked him up, boom, 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 Ice Cube sleep, game over. Fight over. But he didn't kill him, because he could have easily kept stomping him. He could have 8 times stomped him to death, but he didn't, right? So Q wakes up, he gets a brick and throws it, and boom, knocks him out. Now, this is a movie. Let's be clear, people. This is a movie. This is a movie. Be clear.
I want to interrupt. One little small part to what you just said.
Go ahead.
Craig hit him in the head with a brick, knocked him out. But Craig introduced a weapon that was supposedly a fair fight. What happened in part 2? Debo came with the express purpose to kill Craig. See what I'm saying?
I was ready to get to that.
Okay, keep on.
You know what I'm talking about? And that's what it is. That's why I said it's a movie. In real life, if that happened in real life, and you throw a brick at somebody, you knock him out, okay, he's out cold for now, and everybody leave, go home, and that's what it is. Now, he's coming back because you embarrassed him in front of the hood, because he supposed to be the toughest dude in the hood, you embarrassed him and everything. He gonna come back now with either a brick or his boys and some guns and weapons, and now the situation is now escalated. If we could have left it at him knocking Craig out, and not been it, but that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not knocking Ice Cube or anybody. I'm just painting a real picture that actually happened in real life. And
well, real movie life.
But no, I seen dudes get knocked out, but they say dude used it back, and dude came back around. Now dudes did, because dude came back and now he's not here no more.
Exactly.
But if it was straight hand-to-hand combat, it'd have been hand-to-hand combat, and that's it. But what you said, once you escalate the level by bringing in weapons and stuff, then that's where you get what you get. But as Seth the Dark Child explained to that, he was teaching his son how to deal with fighting and all that stuff hand to hand like men, while the mother on the hand told him that, oh, you get a fight, you get a knife or rock and you hit somebody with it.
Just do this, it'll do this.
Right. So now, we have a situation escalating, and it all comes back to what we're saying is that when men to men is having a disagreement, we as men, you know what I'm saying, we don't want you jumping in. We don't need you to be saving us. And I see Sherry gets up top. Let me see what she said here. Too many women that teach their kids to use weapons, violence, and celebrating culture. Black. Well, no, we can't say that culture, because I'm not sure he came to the show late. But the second story I explained to you were all white couples. There was no black person involved in this. And the woman, as I explained, was disrespecting the other man by running her mouth. But then when the dude came out and started shooting everybody, matter of fact, even when she was on the ground bleeding, she was still talking ish. And then he came back and finished out, like, just shut up.
Okay, let me see this. Now, I don't know too many women that teach their kids to use weapons. I was born in the project. I lived in the projects pretty much my whole life up until I worked my way out of it. I disagree with that statement 100%. You might not know too many women. That statement can't be used as a blanket statement. It's women don't fight fair. I have an ex-girlfriend who prided herself on having a knife available at a drop of a hat. So she couldn't throw. Every time she made a fist, I said, if you hit somebody with your fist, you're gonna break your hand. Got the bark of a chihuahua, but couldn't defend herself. But she could use a knife like a ninja. Okay, so yeah. And as far as black and American culture, that's the problem. Humans are animals, and we keep forgetting that all the time. We keep liking to think that we are some higher order creature or being. We're not. We're animals. When we get to a certain point, almost always we resort to violence. Okay? So it isn't black culture. It ain't American culture. You think the Egyptians were walking around not killing each other? You think the Zulus weren't killing their tribal neighbors? You think the American Indians developed bow and arrows and spears and stuff just to kill buffalo? No. So it's not American culture. Humans are violent. We are animals, and we are very good at violence. What you need to learn how to do is moderate the violence and the response, which comes with self-discipline, not don't do it. You shouldn't do it, but if you have, I would never tell my son, don't you ever punch somebody, because your son might not have that training. So what's going to happen to my son?
Right, he's going to get beat up.
Exactly.
If not worse.
Exactly. Humans are violent, and I'm not going to be the first one to tell my son to not defend himself, but he has to learn proportional response, which comes with self-discipline. Otherwise, you will escalate, and if you escalate on the wrong person, that other person will escalate also, and that's how you went from fighting in the street in the dirt when we was kids to drive-bys. Those are no proportionate responses. Step on somebody's shoes and get shot. That's not a proportionate response.
Hold on, but let's stay on topic.
I'm sorry.
No, you good. No, you good. No, it's good. No, good questions from both you and Sherry responding as well. Right. It's not just black community, but it's all community. But the main topic here is not really about the violence. The main topic here is that I need women to be accountable. Ladies, I want to know.
Sorry. I all lost track.
No, it's cool. No, it's cool. Because we gave a story. See, when men have debates or arguments, whatever, we like to give you a story, a situation that happened. We don't say a general statement. We like to give you a pure fact. Like, that's what it is.
It's called mansplaining.
Okay, mansplaining.
Keep going. So,
the question I have for Sherry and any lady who will be listening now or even later on, I want to know when is it feminine for you to jump into an argument between two men? Where's it feminine when you tell another man you're going to F him up? When is it feminine you're going to tell another man he's a P, you, SSY. Tell me those traits. And not saying when he's talking to you, not man and woman argument. I'm talking about if me and Seth are in a full argument right now about XYZ. Okay, the wife might come down and say, "What's going on?" But she says, but if she sees something's going on, she's going, "All right, let me step out. I can't, I can't do nothing with this." But what I'm saying is, I don't need my wife to come in and start chiming in and talking mess to you about, "Oh, you a punk? Y'all wish you would. I dare you. I dare you." Because that's what happened in the scenario with the second story when the lady, she kept egging the dude who had a knife, talking about, go ahead. How you gonna tell somebody you got a gun pointing at you, go ahead? I mean, really?
Because she
thought. Hold on. She thought she had the privilege shield, so where you shoot is gonna bounce off her. Like, privilege shield activated. Go ahead, shoot. I dare you. No. And that man said, "I'm gonna shoot you, all right." And then once he shot her, I want you to be very clear. He made it his point to go back to her after he went in the house and reloaded his gun, back out to her and came back to her and said, "You should have shut the F up," and shot her again to make sure she was dead.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's there. He ain't said it to the guy. He said it to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we got to the violence part, because we're talking about most men, when we have disagreement, we may knuckle up and not sit, but I'm not running trying to get my gun, because that's going to escalate the situation altogether.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going to respond to violence with violence. But honestly, I've had many verbal altercations with multiple people. You've been listening to these videos. You know my views aren't changing because I'm a grown man and I believe what I say. But I have never entered into a situation of my own, and I'm gonna put that like that, of my own volition, where taking someone else's life was a desired outcome. Never. The only time I even came close to taking somebody else's life was defending, guess what?
Your family.
Yes. And guess who specifically?
My wife and kids.
No. Because my wife had sense. My mom. The only time I almost get serious jail time for a violent offense was in defense of who else? My mom. And looking back after having real conversations, guess who started the situation that I almost got locked up for?
Your mama?
Wow, where did that come from? Guess who started and guess who she was talking to when she started this conversation? I mean, this situation, and gave me just enough details to get me all fired up.
Your dad?
My stepfather.
Okay, stepfather. Okay.
Same thing though. You know.
Right. So you about to go ham on the man who's been around you the most, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you raised you or not, but
not really.
Okay.
It was after adulthood, but still, you chose this dude, but your mouth wrote a check, your butt couldn't cash, so you called an audible, got your son involved, and the situation was what the situation was, and then come to find out years later and talking, you started the dang on. Why did you start? He was. The reason she gave me was so childish and it was such trash that I didn't even want to speak to her no more after that. I like to throw my future away for your trash. That's what women do to a lot of guys. Y'all be in y'all moment, y'all be in that moment, and y'all throw somebody's future away. So I'd ask this part. You asked this question. When is it right for a woman, historically speaking, I don't care how chauvinistic this sounds, when is it right for a woman to confront a man in that manner in the first place? Because if you go through all the history books, isn't it your husband's place to defend the family?
Facts.
How many? I mean, it happens, but not to this rate, people. When was it ever feminine to be out there starting fights with people? It ain't. This is beyond defending yourself. These are initiated by you. You are creating these situations. When was that ever feminine? I'll wait for that one.
Oh, you got a comment?
I love Sherry. Sherry, you just want to call in?
So she said, I guess my struggle is why is the question about femininity and not because once again, show me where under being a feminine woman being a fit, feminine, petite woman, all that, the woman caring, all that stuff, not caring, but caring, supporting this. Show me all those traits as being a woman that it shows that you should be the aggressor. Right. Show me.
Let's roll with
it. Just show me, and you break down the female feminine traits of the aggressor. Show me where's that at.
Well, and yeah, just to fully expand on what you just said, is it comment? Is it appropriate for anyone to escalate an argument regardless of gender?
Deflecticon.
No. I like that. Is it appropriate? No, it's not. But even if you do escalate an argument regardless of gender, right? Escalation. Here's the trick to it. I, as a man, know that there's a point where twins and I are going to come into a physical confrontation because of something that I'm saying or doing, and vice versa. There is a line in the sand that all men who are masculine men know there's a line in the sand, don't cross it. The problem is a lot of our ladies have been equalized and everything.
They step over that line. They go through the line.
They give a damn about the line. And that's a problem. It's not that it's inappropriate. It is inappropriate. But you guys used to calm us down. You remember those days,
I remember
right?
them days.
Hey, calm down, baby. Go sit down in your chair. Let me just sit down.
Perfect example. I know this is fictitious, but when the Hulk is mad, who calms the Hulk down?
Didn't Black Widow do that? It's getting kind of late.
I'm just saying, the strongest and most raged person in the world, he can destroy the whole earth. But it'll take his little Betty, hey baby, it's getting dark. And he calms down.
Let's use Marvel. Remember when T'Challa was about to kill Claw and Black Panther? Who was that calmed him down? T'Challa. That was
Nicoy? No.
Okoye and Nakia.
Yeah,
they were like, no, don't do that, right? Both times.
And he was ready to do it too. He was ready. I'm ready in it right now.
But no, okay. But imagine if she would have been on 100. If she would have been full of her
do it.
Get him, stab him, cut his ass up. Okay, the point isn't about this. The point is that, and I know we can. I want to deflect this from going all the way into, well, women have always had to fight for their rights, and they've always been stopped. We're not going there. We're not justifying this craziness.
Facts.
The point being is that our female counterparts have found that they like the taste of masculine energy. They revel in it, but they don't. A lot of them, not all, a lot of them give no thought as to the consequences of that. Normally, when a man get caught up in his masculine, when a situation boil out of control, if a man is trying to defend a woman in her masculine, he gets hurt. But it's also a number of women who find themselves knocked unconscious, black-eyed, knocked out, domestic violated. Because you didn't know when to just stop. Let that masculine energy go. You shouldn't have had it in the first place. Home's supposed to be peaceful. I shouldn't have to fight when I come home every evening. A lot of men find that to be the situation that they're in. That's all I'm saying. We got to stop that. And women are supposed to be gentler sex.
You hit it on top of the nose, and I'm sure she's just speaking for herself and not for all women. Because when I posed the question, a lot of women said, "Yeah, I agree with you. Women should not be jumping into arguments with men."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not talking about this regular argument. I'm talking about when the situation escalation, like when men are arguing whatever, and it may take it there. We don't need you jumping in and speaking for me. I'm a man. I speak for myself, right? Diffusion, yes, but once you can't diffuse it, take your butt and get out the way.
Let me be honest. Most of these arguments that turn deadly between men, a woman isn't in the mix. That is true. This is a small percentage, but I agree that women shouldn't jump in it and escalate it because it's inappropriate. See,
Facts.
Once again,
there we go.
And once again, I'm not saying that men are animals. We are violent creatures. We really used to look for women to keep us cool and calm, but I don't know the statistics. But I will say that it's a lot of situations that a lot of these violent situations between men, if you scrape back a little bit of those layers, you ain't gonna say almost always. It's a high percentage. That sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah.
High percentage.
Yeah, it sounds good.
That we're doing it for women. You know, my nephew personally has never did. My nephew has been to jail multiple times. Not once has he did something that was him. You know,
I get what you're saying.
He's I got friends who did serious jail time defending women. Mm-hmm. And once again, I'm not saying that they were wrong. If I see if it's wrong, if it's right, it's right. If she need help, she need help. But if you talk to a lot of guys afterwards when they start talking about what they were doing, you're like, who caused that situation? This I wish there was a statistic for that, because who caused the situation that you found yourself in? Women show up quite a lot. Not all the time at all, but quite often. That happens. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I'm happy that she fully understands where we's coming from. It took a lot, it seemed like, because that's all I'm getting at. Where's the trait? You know what I'm saying? When I look at the traits, is, nutrients, sensitivity, sweetness, supportness, gentleness, warmth, passionate, cooperateness, expressiveness, modest, humility, empathy, affectionate, tenderness. None of those.
Wow, did you memorize that?
No, I'm looking right now. I ain't gonna lie. No.
Like that.
No. I'm not gonna act like I had the top of my head. I'm just reading here, people. I gotta put a little research up, but I'm letting you know.
That was awesome.
But all those things we said though, aggressiveness is not in that. Masculinity is not in that. So
what was deflection?
No. She when I said Deflecticon. So I think we beat up long enough. I think we'll have another topic coming on next. But ladies, listen. When it comes to men having an argument, let the men have it all. And regardless of being said, let them two have it out, because just you saying what you gotta say is going to actually escalate the situation. No man likes to be called a B, a P from a woman. That's going to trigger you already. Let me see what you say here.